Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about what if my ex finds someone better than me?
Ooh, then you are screwed.
You are in big, deep doo-doo.
We're just kidding.
But I mean, look, the reality is if your ex finds somebody else, they're certainly going to do some kind of comparison. I think everybody would.
Yeah, I think it's hard because comparison is something that's almost compulsive that you do. I know you've heard that phrase, comparison is the thief of joy, but gosh darn it, is it hard not to?
Yeah. It's really tough to not obsessively think about your ex running off into the sunset. Many of those rebound relationships are going to fail. I mean, I really think probably 99% of relationships fail. If you think about it.
We're also in a very niche category of the world.
That's true. But if you think about it, the divorce rate is 60% roughly. Mm-hmm. And if you date, 10 people in your life, then that puts it at 90%. Most people date more than 10 people.
That's true.
And so unless they stay with that 11th that 10th person, that really puts it at like over 90%.
Wow. If you weren't depressed before. I'll say more to that. I'll never forget the time where you had said, if you're single, that means 100% of your relationships have failed. And I think a part of my heart broke that day.
I don't remember saying that to you,
no,
but
you definitely said that.
I do believe you because that is something that I thought before. I mean, it is true.
Yeah, relationships can be tough. And if you think about all the different factors that are involved in a person and trying to find somebody that's, compatible, that's willing to work with you, that's putting in the effort, and there's just so many different complexities to it. Here we're talking a lot about comparisons and who are they meeting? Who's this new person? Are they going to have a better connection? What are they going to think about that person? Are they going to compare me with this other person?
Yeah.
And so it can be really
What if they
overwhelming.
make more money? What if they're more attractive?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's endless. It's endless comparisons that you could make.
And I would say the first step here is, this is going to be so unexpected, but focusing on yourself. And this is one of the hardest things to do during a breakup because you are pining for more information about your ex. You want to know who is around them, who are the other potential suitors, who am I competing with? And this can be something that really plagues you and eats at you. So I would say one of the first steps, if this is a reoccurring thought that's really causing you a lot of distress, is limiting your cyber stalking.
Yes.
Many of you are searching for who your ex is around and who they potentially could be dating, who they could potentially be talking to or interested in, and you're already automatically comparing yourselves to those people. This is something that's very normal. I'm sure we've done it too, so we understand and have been in your shoes.
No, I did it.
This is one of the first steps, is limiting that kind of compulsive wanting to look and check and compare.
This is why we say, but you really got to focus on the growth. Like, that's not an exaggeration, because if you're focusing on what they're doing, where they're at, you're not going to be bettering yourself. You're not going to have a better understanding of relationships or how to communicate better or improve your insecurities or how to show up better in relationships, because all you're doing is wasting your time focused on the other person, like Beaky Buzzard. So here's my question for you. Would you rather have an ex leave you for somebody that is quote unquote better, or somebody that is worse?
How did I know you were going to go there?
Pick your poison.
I don't know.
Right? Because either or, like, if they're worse, you're like, oh, why the heck would they want to be with Beaky Buzzard? They're everybody makes fun of them. They're a loser. So, but then you're like, so you feel better because you're like, I'm better than that person. But then you feel worse because you're like, why would they pick that person? Or somebody better. Then maybe they're rich and extremely attractive. Then you can be like, well, I could see why they left me for them.
but then you're also like, darn it.
Why can't I be rich and really attractive?
Which leads me to my next point.
No, you didn't answer.
I'm not answering
that. Yeah, you got to answer. Come on, pick your poison.
Know. I think this leads me to another point that we were going to talk about.
No, I want an answer.
This is the answer.
You're going to give it to me?
This is the
answer. Real answer? Okay.
This is the real answer.
Okay.
Is that so much of this is illusion. So much of who we think is quote unquote better or quote unquote worse is based off of what we think right? Because unless we know the person and have that kind of connection, we will never know. And in fact, I would argue if we're not our ex, then we don't know how their connection is at all.
Okay, but there is some truth to it. It's not a complete illusion, right? Would you rather, somebody leave you for Scarlett Johansson or somebody, who's, funny and attractive and fit and whatever, or somebody that can't keep a job and, whatever? Which would you pick?
I mean, probably. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one.
I would rather somebody worse than me, which there are many people, by the way.
It would kind of be cool, Scarlett Johansson, though. I'd be like, hey, I kind of miss the cat, and is Scarlett there? Can I talk to her, please? I'd like.
No, yeah. Get me her autograph.
Yeah, right.
I have this Avengers poster, and she's one of the few people that is not on there. Can I get? And I'm not even kidding about that. It's really true. I have like most of the Avengers.
So you would want your ex to be dating Scarlett Johansson for that reason?
Well, if I can get the autograph, yeah.
Yeah, right.
But then, do I want the autograph? I'm like, no. I don't want you now.
We are getting so far off here.
Oh, sorry about that.
All right. One of the points that I wanted to make is, in thinking about these quote unquote potential suitors that are surrounding your ex, a lot of times we feel a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy for what we think they might have. And I would encourage you to reframe this. Sometimes jealousy is a misunderstood emotion. We see it as kind of this evil thing that we just have to not feel and push it down. But I would argue that jealousy and envy, these are emotions that bring up some of what we desire and what we want for our own lives up to the surface. Mm-hmm. So if you can find a way to say, okay, well, does this person have something that I don't have right now, but is achievable for me and is something that I want genuinely for myself? Mm-hmm. Can we explore that a little bit and see what that's like? Instead of saying, oh, this person has everything that I want and I hate them for it, right?
Yeah.
And there can be several ways to look at this. Maybe there's another person's success that you're seeing and you're like, man, I want some success in that way. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you're looking at somebody else's beauty or attractiveness and you're finding that inner desire to express yourself in a certain way externally. Or maybe there's somebody's charisma that you're jealous of and you're wanting something, there's like a personality trait that you see in them that you're like, man, I really like that, but I hate that I like that. So it can be something tricky, but I would encourage you to explore what it is that you want for yourself.
Yeah, and reflect on if it's like something that you feel like you're lacking inside too.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Like I had said before, beware of assumptions and delusions. A lot of times we make up entire plot lines. We might make up entire character traits, personalities in our mind of who we think other people are. And sometimes we can be so far off.
Oh, it's so true. Mm-hmm. Our imagination can run absolutely wild and we can be convinced that the new person is going to be perfect and amazing. Mm-hmm. And then they break up 5 months later. Yeah. Which happens all the time.
Yeah. Or we assume that this other person has it in a certain way because they're maybe on social media, they're showing their fancy life, but all of it is rentals,
That's true.
So don't be fooled by what you see online. Don't be fooled by the things that you hear. You never truly know a person until you know them. And a lot of times we think we know what another person is experiencing, but it can be so far from reality. Yep. There's a popular song by Outkast that talks about this. It's called Roses. Many of you know it. Anyways, there's...
It's on repeat.
Yeah. It basically talks about how everybody poops and everybody's poop stinks, okay?
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it. No matter how flashy or shiny someone's life looks like, they're still human at the end of the day. They still are just like us. So we have to try to control our impulse to fantasize this like grandiose version of these other potential suitors that are out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because your ex may find someone that's better for them, right? Mm-hmm. That they feel is a better fit for them. That is one of the realities of a breakup, is that sometimes that does happen. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to ignore the fact that that is a possibility. That's why we always say, work on yourself, because when they come back, you want them to feel like you're their best option. And you got to show those difficult changes because they're going to be reluctant to believe that you're going to make them. That's why you have to work really hard. So if you have the position or the opportunity to do it, you're able to step up to the plate when they say those very challenging and difficult things about your character, which they're going to do. And they're going to say, and you did this and you did that. And you're going to have to be able to be understanding and empathetic instead of lashing out at them.
Oh, yeah.
So it's tough. There's a lot to this because, you know, you have to think about who you are, what you want out of your life, you know, who may be a better partner or a better fit for you. Because sometimes a while later, you'll realize that there are better people out there for you. And you'll be surprised and you won't feel like it could ever happen, but then it does happen.
Oh, yeah. And remember that loving yourself is knowing why you are worth being chosen, even if it's chosen by you and choosing yourself. And this can be something that's difficult because during a breakup, we are so focused on what our ex thinks. Does our ex like us? Does our ex think our message to them is good or not? Does our ex, you know, like our outfit? Does our ex think that I'm attractive or successful or XYZ? So we're so focused on our ex's opinion instead of thinking, well, what do I care about? What do I like? What makes me feel good? What do I enjoy? What do I think is cool? What do I think is interesting?
Yeah.
You know, and these are all the questions that I would really encourage you to think about and almost try to make these things your obsession. Try to make what you want out of life more of your focus here. And I know it's hard because comparison is there, and you know you're goal driven, right? You want your ex's attention, so you want to be the flashiest peacock for your ex, and we get that, right? But we find a lot of times when you're in your own element is when you're most attractive. When you're your most authentic self, then you're most attractive.
Very
yes,
true.
the ScarJos of the world are gorgeous, right? But you yourself have your own unique beauty and authenticity in that. So that's the message.
So do the work so you can bring it out when you have to step up, and those challenging moments, they're gonna shake your legs, right? You're gonna get those wobbly legs when all of a sudden you get in front of your ex or you meet up with them for that first time.
Oh yeah.
All right. Hopefully this one's been helpful to you. Of course, if you'd like to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat, especially if you're Scarlett Johansson.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to do that. That's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.